Hello, everybody. I am back. I know it's been a very long time. My phone is a piece of crap, the one that I use to record on, and the battery dies while I'm using it. So, anyway, I did some wide body fender overlays over this summer, springtime, and that's pretty much where it's just like a fiberglass piece that goes over your current body. And you can see me grinding it here. And what I would have done differently if I can do this again, I wouldn't have grinded it in the middle like I'm doing right now. There was no need for that. For some reason in my head, I thought that the fenders were going to like touch that part and I had to grind it and put the epoxy stuff over it. But in reality, I didn't have to do that. I just made extra work for myself in the long run. But you live and learn. It is what it is. So after I grinded that, I'm going to put like the two-part uh, body panel adhesive to it, which is, that stuff is really, really good. Well worth the money. And if anyone's wondering, I use two, about, well, 1.5 to almost two on each side. I was being pretty conservative with it. So it was really like 1.5 that I used for each side. And I still have one full one left and a half of another one left. I'm going to try to also edit the rest of the videos that I have. I have so much media, but it just takes so long to edit. Editing is so long, and I'm just not that good at it still. And I have a lot of other things going on. So editing always goes to the back burner. And I need to get a new battery for this stupid phone as well. Um, anyway, back to the jobs I'm doing. I cut the fenders. I took off like a good, I don't know, maybe 2.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. I think I took off a little bit too much, but it was fine either way. And I did that so that the fiberglass filler would have enough material to bite onto it. I didn't want to put the overlays on the car and then only have like a 16th of an inch of room to put on fiberglass filler and have it crack and be a bunch of work and drama later on. So while I was doing it, I might just do it right the first way, even if it takes a lot longer to get it done. Um, what else? On these fenders, when I laid it out, I did pretty much the same thing on each side. So even though there's some videos that are missing in between the process of what I did to get this done, I tried to edit it in a way so it flows together and it still makes sense to whoever's watching it. And also for that fender right there where I cut it in the wheel well across, I shouldn't have done that. I should have left a big portion of the wheel well on each side stuck or attached. I shouldn't have cut it off from the overlay, the fender overlays. And later on in the video, you'll be able to see where I had to re-go through and attach the part of the overlays that I had cut off back onto the car. So it's just a little boo-boo because I've never done these on this particular car before. So it's just a, live and learn. And then afterwards, I'm just gonna spread out this body adhesive with a plastic spreader. I think it's like 2 inches thick, and I really was really generous on that part. I wanted to be like more conservative with it, but I just said the hell with it when I was spreading it all around. Hi, I just forgot about like a little tip. Make sure you scuff or rough up the back of the fenders before you put them on the car. I had lost a video of me doing that where I just scuffed it up with some sandpaper to make sure it had like a nice rough surface so it would adhere better to the body adhesive. And that's pretty much it for that. Like you really can't see it in here, but these are just sheet metal screws that I use as an extra bit of adhesion to help the panel to make sure it's as tight as it possibly can be to the body of the car. So I use all of those those clamps plus the sheet metal screws, and it turned out to be really good. At first I didn't want to use it, I didn't want to drill more holes in the car, but I mean, at this point it is what it is, and I primered over it, and so it's not a big deal anyway. And if anyone else is doing any overlays and you decide to go with like just the fiberglass route, I wouldn't use Bondo. Just too many different mediums mixing together and too much issues. It could be prone to crack or what have you. Just and I stuck with fiberglass. But I put it on as light as I possibly could. I didn't want to go super heavy with it, and then just sanded it down and constantly looking for high and low spots. But luckily with this paint job, since I'm using that bed liner, it's already a super coarse finish, which allows me to be lazy with sanding the car, so I don't have to go up to like a 220, 400, even 600 grit sandpaper. I can leave it at like 120, even probably 80, but I can leave it at like 120 grit and just call it a day, and leave it kind of like little tiny bits of imperfections here and there, since that's part of the overall finished product of the bin liner paint. Super happy I'm not doing like a Concord type of paint job. I would just bring to a shop. Like the heck with that. Here I'm showing off the how many inches it sticks out. It looks beautiful. The wide body fenders actually makes that car, those front fenders look like it belongs on the car instead of it just being bolted to the car. It looks like it was part of the car from factory. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to go with those rear wide body overlays, because this makes it look more professional and more what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know if it completes the word, but just more like it belongs on there. It brings out the fenders, I want to say maybe like 3 inches or so, 2.5, 3 inches. It's not super dramatic, but it's just enough where you can look at it and you're like, oh wow, like that car has a fat ass. And here on the passenger side, I was gonna do the sparkle door relocation, where I relocate the view door to the top portion of the car. But then I was thinking about it and I was like, that's just way too much work for nothing. And it's a lot of body work and a lot of unnecessary cutting and stuff when I can just get a sparkle door and then just fabricate that onto the existing fuel door cover instead, and it look just as awesome, and it would look more factory. There, that's where I was looking for. It would look more factory. So that's what I'm gonna go with instead of relocating the door, the fuel door, because I'll be working the car for another like 5, 6 months. I just really want to just drive my damn car. I'm tired of like working on it now. It's been years, and I'm still trying to decide what sparkle door I want to use. Still trying to look around and how I'm gonna go about doing it. I'm not sure if I'm just gonna cut a hole in my existing fuel door and then mount it to that, or if I'm gonna make a whole new fuel door and incorporate the sparkle fuel door in that. I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly, but hopefully you should know what I'm talking about. And all that's gonna be filled up with fiberglass, so it looks way better. Well, it looks done now. And hopefully I can get some primer on this car this week. That's my goal, because it's going to be pretty warm out, like 60 degrees, and then I'm betting that's probably going to be like this is going to be the last week of semi-warm weather. So I'm going to have to paint this car and get the clear coat on it this week, or I'm just going to be asked out until next spring. And that's pretty much what I'm talking about in this video when I'm shooting it on my phone before my phone dies. And I did shoot more video of it being completely sanded down and wiped down, but the video was lost because the phone died and then the video got corrupted. That's been a big problem. So yeah. And this is pretty much nearing towards the end. I'm just sitting here talking about what I already said. Hopefully I can get the next video out with the hatch and just some other random stuff that I made. Hopefully this week. That's my goal if I have time. So stay tuned for that. And I just want to thank everybody for watching. And have a good day. Stay safe, everybody. Bye.